fit any data if you do the right things and try the right ways. So that's how the eugenics and, problematic narratives about people of color and gender and all of that sort of stuff gets played into it. Is, yeah, you know what? If I fucked with statistics correctly, I could show that people of color are more or less intelligent. I could show that women are more or less intelligent. I could show that people from Connecticut were, you can basically do that at will. So it's really important.
Well, sorry,
Yeah.
I was going to say, I mean, there's the statistical aspect, and then there's just like the bias test aspect, right? So one of the big examples
Yeah.
that I will use is, like, for instance, so I got tested. So yeah, I got tested for ADHD back when I was living in Montreal, and I was very surprised to find that one of the questions was like, one of the tests was like a trivia test, but it was so US coded. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
nobody outside of the US knows who Sacagawea is. I'll be so for real. And if you do, that would be very surprising to me.
Yeah.
But it's very clearly like it's like US history facts on this test.
Yeah.
And sitting there, and obviously me having that knowledge because I went through the US educational system, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had to obviously translate it into French. So I'm like, are you asking like francophone Quebecois people about Sacagawea? Like what? Like
Right.
seriously? So that was, I don't know. It was just like very odd. And I
Yeah.
mean,
Right.
so then so somebody scores poorly on this history test, but they grew up halfway across the world. Maybe there's also, have to, you're supposed to actually be tested in your native language if possible, but sometimes
Yes,
that's not
that's
necessary.
really important.
Sometimes that's not necessarily possible, so there's always like a language
Mm.
barrier aspect to consider, and so you
Yeah.
can score poorly on something that because it's culturally biased, right?
Yeah. It's something that I think is also really interesting. I was
Yeah.
listening to, I think his name is Richard Heyer. He's like yeah, Richard Haier. I was listening to him on the Lex Friedman podcast. I don't know if that guy's problematic. I feel like he might be problematic. People weigh in if Lex Friedman is problematic. He strikes me as a whiny guy, and he sidetracked a lot of the stuff. But anyways, that's not what I was
I
mainly
honestly,
talking.
I do not know who this person is that you're talking about, honestly.
He's some podcaster. He's a someone probably my age, um, white podcaster guy. But anyways,
Oh,
what
American.
the
Okay. Yeah, you continue. Sorry.
he's a podcaster that's apparently like supposed to be like super neutral. Like he hosts people from both sides, and he doesn't like claim any political affiliation. Which I'm like, maybe that's
No,
problematic already.
nobody is
Yeah.
neutral. Nobody is neutral. If you're doing
Right?
any
If
kind
you
of
claim you're neutral, you've chosen the side of the oppressor. Right?
that's not even a hot take. I'm just like, oh,
No, that's
burn.
the most like that's barely a microwave take. But the guy that he had on the podcast is like a very well respected, like trained
Yeah.
at Johns Hopkins kind of thing, like decent scientist. And he was saying a lot of people anecdotally debunk in their minds intelligence testing by saying like, well, I know plenty of people that are really smart but couldn't change a tire, or like I know plenty of people that are really smart but they miss out on this one particular area. And he made a really good point that intelligence testing has these subcategories, right? Like the verbal reasoning and mathematical reasoning
Mm-hmm.
and general knowledge, which is the trivia aspect that you were just talking about. And lack of performance in any one of those subregions doesn't debunk the notion of a generalized intelligence ability being related to any one of those factors, unless that factor is negatively correlated with something else, such that the better you get at, say, verbal reasoning, the worse you get at another thing. That's the only thing that would kind of truly take that away. And that just simply isn't the case. All of these things are positively correlated with this generalized intelligence G factor, even if you really suck at one of them, which personally, when I took the GRE, my math score was like 25th percentile. My verbal reasoning and my other one were like in the 97 and 95 percentile kind of thing. So I like blew it out of the water on 2 of them and then just like shat the bed on math. And I think I'm pretty smart. So
I was gonna say, I feel like math is also the one that most people perform the worst on. I feel like it's like, honestly, I feel like it's like culturally acceptable to be bad at math. I feel like that's like become a thing. And I don't know how I feel about that. There was a boomer part of me that's like, mental math is important. When the other part of me is like, we all have calculators in our pockets, doesn't really matter anymore.
yeah, I mean, when I think about like preparing for the apocalypse and stuff like that, Sputnik, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. You got a little dancing rat in the corner if you're looking online. So thank you. Welcome. You are now a normal rat. Um,
Rat
yeah,
goes like that.
Rat
goes like that.
I miss going on Doug's stream specifically. Our friend Dougie Licious is a personal real life friend of both Layla and I's, and he used to have specifically when I came into his stream. And if I typed something, it would be like the rat goes like this, and he would just have like, like popping up. So funny. Rad rat, yes, I love rad. That is one of my favorite words. My camera quality again looks like a potato.
It goes in and out. I think it has something to do with your bandwidth or connection, dude. That's part of it.
I mean, yeah, sure. What did I do to change it last time? I think I like went in and changed my video settings or something to make it like slightly less good quality or something.
I think we like messed around with it for like 20 minutes and it was like really, you like turned off your whole computer twice.
Oh, well, that's when it got straight up unplugged. So I think
I do think you changed your like what is it, your definition or whatever. Your
I just did it and it resolved
it fixed,
a little
yes,
more.
yes, it looks better, a little bit better, and it went back, but
oh, well, that's not great. Performance issues detected. Performance issues detected.
Alert.
That adds up. That adds up.
That's what she said.
I was still sharing my screen with you.
Yeah, it's okay.
Wait, someone said that's what she said about the performance issues. Hysterical.
Yeah.
Oh, that was just you. I thought
that was me. I said that's what she said. Performance issues detected. Anyways. So actually, okay, so like, why do we even care about? Oh, you are full potato now. It's actually crazy.
I am. Oh no.
You're like 8-bit. It's so bad. Anyways, so why do we even care about IQ? Short answer: capitalism. Always. Always. Yeah, it's always what it comes back to, man. But yeah, so it actually, IQ correlates really well with income and earning potential. And then at a country level, those who have higher IQ have higher GDP typically as well. So, yeah. I mean, IQ also has this sort of cyclical thing going on where people who are like have higher IQ are more likely to be educated. And if you're more likely to be educated, you have higher IQ. So it just keeps, it kind of just like, you know, this death spiral. Oh, I'm not, oh yeah. Yes, I did. We both earned our doctorate. Yeah, thank you so much, Muse Closet. We got there. We got there eventually.
Right?
Yeah.
We were almost exactly a year apart, I think. You were, it was less than a year because you defended in May, I want to say, and I defended in July.
Not that.
Because you defended just after your birthday, or just.
I defended in April, so but then I like graduated in the May cycle. So yeah, right, I literally defended like I think it was like 2 weeks before I like absolutely had to like last minute, like the last possible day. Yeah.
That was fun. Oh god, I like having so many issues with this chat being in a position because there's all these little things. Anyways, yeah. Congratulations. We love the fact that we made it. There was definitely some times I remember being at what's the taco place that we used to go to that doesn't exist anymore. Remember we went with our laptops and we got like jalapeno margaritas, or I got a spicy margarita and you got a normal one, the little one that was like by a Starbucks on one of the side roads.
By a Starbucks on a side. You're not talking about Escondite, are you? No, that's like.
I'm not talking about Escondite. No, I'm talking about the one that was like kind of cheap and close to campus. It was maybe like it wasn't on Peel. Where was it?
You mean
It was like one
after you defended?
No, 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 no. I mean, while we were in school, when we like almost didn't make it, kind of thing. Like you were like, I think I'm quitting, man. And I was just like,
Oh
you
yeah.
so?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's happened many times. I'm so like I'm really
Yeah.
trying to remember what you're talking about right now because I did say I was going to quit many times.
It was earlier on in our degrees.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter. It's just it was a Mexican restaurant in Montreal that we used to go to because it had like cheap food on Tuesdays or
Are
whatever
you
day of the
talking
week or something.
are you talking about Winnie's? Cuz we used to go and it
No,
had
I'm
like
not
free
talking
happy.
about Winnie's, but I do love when we went to Winnie's. That was fun.
Yes.
No, it's a straight up Mexican place. Fuck, now it's gonna drive me
Okay.
nuts.
Anyways.
We'll figure it out afterwards.
Bro.
Note to self. Note
I
to
do
self.
not know what you're talking about. Okay, by the way, for those of you who were on our streams recently in the past, like I think it was like 2 or 3 streams ago, so a few weeks ago, we were talking about, I brought this up and I feel vindicated because I said some shit out of pocket. I was like, I think there's evidence. Like, I think I heard that Gen Z is like the first generation to get like dumber essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking for evidence to
Right,
support it.
yeah, because you said
And
you read it somewhere and you went and you found the
yes,
place you read
so
it, and
the
that
place
wasn't
that
legit.
the place that it became like popularized was somebody did like not a testament, a like they testified in front of like a committee hearing, like a Senate committee, and they were talking about it, blah blah blah. So it was like this government like testimony essentially. But
Mm-hmm.
there is an actual article which I will share with you that's that actually shows.
Let's go, let's go.
So there's this thing called the Flynn effect, and we
Yes. Hey,
and
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
over time, am I a robot? No, I am not a fucking robot.
Ah, no.
Well,
No.
maybe I'm a robot. I don't know. 1 second. No. Okay, why do I have to ask if I'm a robot multiple times? Bro. Okay, and then I'm gonna share my screen.
Did you know that the origins of intelligence testing came from the same guy that came up with Spearman correlations, as in his name was
Yes.
Spearman? And
Yes, literally.
I didn't know that until researching for this, and I was like, shit. So when we talk about if something's correlated with something, and we go out like correlation, not causation, it was this guy, Dr. Spearman. I can't remember. It's a
Yeah.
white guy first name, but yeah, it's kind of
So,
cool.
also very random, but Get a Grip just asked, is she a robot? And it just said that that was a hostile message, and I had to indicate that was not, in fact, a hostile message. So, apparently there's a lot
What?
of robots streaming that are offended by that term. I
So
am.
we call that clankers, right? We don't
Yes.
like them.
which,
We're
which
clankers.
we don't like them very much at all. So I have to share that with my own. There we go.
Yeah, I have to look on my
Oh, this is
track what
chaos. Okay, so I'm just gonna full screen that.
or live laugh love
So,
this.
okay, so this essentially, okay, so let's actually look at what the Flynn effect looks like because this is supposed to be, this is like slowly but surely that
People will be getting smart.
personality traits. Girl, what? Here we go. Okay, so this is like over time, people obviously have become slowly more educated and therefore, and I need to share one more thing with you because there we go. Now Alicia's stream can see it. So it's the Flynn effect is like our intelligence has slowly been increasing. As you can see, Asia is surpassing the Western nations because, of course, they are. China's up and coming. They're going to be the next economic hegemon, but we'll, figure that out. Y'all better start learning Mandarin soon.
Right?
However, from 2006 to 2018, let me get my life together here for you. This is the intelligence of and it's stratified by education level as well. It's actually going down. And this is the first, this is they're calling it like a reversal of the Flynn effect. And this is like the first time we're seeing this in, I think, history since we started measuring intelligence regularly.
Right.
And
So the
so,
Flynn effect itself
yes.
is the fact that intelligence scores have gone up like 3 points per year or decade or something like that for basically since the genesis
Yes.
of intelligence testing, which is now more than 100 years old.
and
I
and
can't
be
remember the exact interval, but it's frequent.
yes, I think it's like generational decade or something along those lines. But
Yeah, yeah.
they essentially like um intelligence